So somebody quite innocently said on the season 6 trailer, they said, oh, I mean, this is just over the top, it's just fragrant, stop being dramatic about it, stop being stupid. And they were talking about the theatrics, of course, and the drama and the cinematics of the season 6 trailer. And, well, it's evidently not just fragrance, is it, to somebody like me who's got a literal YouTube channel and a following and does all of this stuff and goes and visits places and travels and things like that. This is obviously more than just fragrance. This is something that has actually become a lifestyle and part of my life. And there's many different reasons why people get into fragrance, including the obligatory and standardized, oh, well, I just want to, attract the women, get girls, get laid, smell better or whatever. But then there are certain fragrances and there are certain things that sort of tip you over the edge. There are certain fragrance maybe experiences or even fragrances themselves that take you from somebody who just enjoys fragrance and whatever to actually, what, this is really serious and this is something I want to be part of my day-to-day life. And you become a collector and then you start shooting and uploading videos on YouTube, or you become a blogger on Fragranc, which is a fate worse than hell. So what did that for me? Well, the standard answer that I can always give is Kissed by Slumberhouse. That was the fragrance that made me go from okay, fine, this is quite fun and this is very enjoyable, to, oh my gosh, this is an art form. This is seriously an art form, and you can create so much out of it, and you can, create pieces of little art and memory and emotion. Slumberhouse is a niche house in Oregon, created and continually worked upon by perfumier Josh Lobb. Again, not trained professionally. Most of the niche, and actually, if I can be open about it, most of the more interesting perfumiers are not officially trained at Grass or whatever. They just sort of make it up themselves. There's a real sort of punk movement in fragrance at the moment, and Josh Lobb is certainly somebody who's at the forefront of it. Josh Lobb is, and I don't think that he'd mind me saying, is an absolutely crazy man. He's very nuts, he's very wild, he's very artistic, he's got his own voice, he's quite contrarian in a way, and he's very jaded about the fragrance industry in a whole, as many people are. He's very jaded about the commercialism, he's very jaded about just how everything smells the same, there's nothing interesting. He's even jaded about YouTube fragrance reviewers. I had to really earn his trust to talk to him and get to know him, and I felt that, I felt the pressure of getting to be able to trust this person and convince him I'm not just a regular fragrance YouTube reviewer, I'm somebody who also enjoys the art and everything like that. Not saying that all the other reviewers don't enjoy art, that's preposterous, of course they do, but there's a cynicism that has been created, and we can't ignore that with certain reviewers. So contrarian and so stuck in his ways that he actually will give his fragrances for free to reviewers as long as they give a blindingly negative review, which I thought was quite funny and quite hilarious, and certainly a departure from other companies. And I said to him, well, listen, that's all very well and good, but don't you think that that's sort of just as bad, because you're asking me to give an opinion that you've given to me rather than giving the opinion that I actually want to give? And so this is Fjerne. This is the latest from Slumberhouse, and bloody hell was I excited. Kissed, Jeek, Norn, Or, these are towering fragrances that are creative and wild and artistic and mad and will just blow your mind and completely feed your imagination. So when I heard that Fjerne was coming out, I just had to email him and say, look, I'm not going to lie, Slumberhouse is actually quite difficult to get a hold of. I really, really want to try Fjerne and everything like that. And after a few emails, he was like, okay, well, I'm not going to give it to you for free. I'm going to give it to you on discount, and which he certainly did, and I really appreciate that. That's not going to change my opinion on this one bit. Of course, I'm a Slumberhouse fanboy because of the fact that they have had such an incredible track record, and their fragrances change the way that I view fragrances. So let's get to the presentation. So you hear the name Fjerne, right? And you think, right, well, Bob's your uncle. It's obviously going to be green and watery and rooty, and it's going to be like on a boat trip because you're in the ferns and all this kind of stuff and everything like that. But it's not. It doesn't actually smell like that at all. And the clue is actually within the really simple presentation. You've got this very majestic gold liquid that actually looks as though it's Boss bottled, but thank God it's not. So you also have the white cap, and Slumberhouse has changed their presentation so much, it's actually kind of difficult to keep up. I've had certain favourites, I've had ones that I've liked, I've had ones that I've not liked. I didn't like the previous presentation where it was all jumbled and metallic. I really didn't like that. I would have given that like a 2 out of 5. My favourite one is actually the Keist bottle that I have. That is my favourite 5 out of 5 Slumberhouse. I wish that they hadn't changed it, and I don't know why Josh Lobb keeps changing it. Maybe to piss people like me off. I really wouldn't be surprised he's that type of dude. But this one is fine. This one is okay. It's certainly an upgrade from the last one, which is the metallic one with all the lettering. But it's a downgrade, I'd say, from the bottle that I got. So it's a 4 out of 5. It's nice, it's pleasant. It just doesn't look special. That's my problem. It looks cool and it looks niche and it looks minimal, which is absolutely fine, but it just doesn't look as special and as intriguing, you know, as the bottle that I had with that Keist, which I do think, thankfully, still have. But nothing can beat the original bottles where they had all those bits in and everything like that. Those really were wild. Right, onto the scent. And so finally, to the moment that you've all been waiting for, and that is, of course, the scent. So, what was I expecting? That's the big thing that you've got to ask yourself. You see, Slumberhouse are very, very known for their darker fragrances. They're known for Norn and Or and even New Cibbit, which is quite dark, but it's also sort of like Dior Homme, but in a psychiatric unit, if that makes any sense. And even things like Keist is very warm and lovely and gentle, but it does actually have that depth and darkness. Fern, again, I was expecting green, you know, reeds, all that kind of stuff, something like that. But no, let me just find the spritzer in this sunlight. No, the initial blast that you're going to get from this is it's going to smell comparatively to a fragrance by Christian Dior that's now discontinued called Mitza. Now, I can already see some of your eyes lighting up going, oh, bloody hell, this is fantastic. But hang on a second, you may not like it if you do like Mitza, because this doesn't actually have the traditional depth that some of the Slumberhouses have. This has definitely got that incense, that cinnamon that is known to Mitza, and it's got that herbal spiciness definitely in there. But there's also a real lightness, and it goes very well with the cap colour and the colour of the juice. It's got coconut, it's got this sort of almond thing going on that makes it quite light and almost quite fluffy and almost flower-like. And that is something that I wasn't expecting at all. And so what you can do is you can wear it perfectly for days like this. This is a very, very warm end of September day. It's going to be apparently like 23, 24 degrees, but it will cool down. This is fantastic for those very warm autumn days. Josh Lobb, very influenced by Georgia. Hey Matt, how you doing? Really loves Georgia, and he actually had Keist based on the summers and the summer evenings of Georgia, and for me this is that sort of climate. It's that humid, warm, autumnal climate where you're just sort of in the middle. And so you spray it on, you've got that spicy Mitza vibe, which is nice. You've got a bit of incense, you've got a bit of the cinnamon, but there's also this very balmy, very balsamic coconut, like you have, you know, dropped coconut oil or something like that, as opposed to, I don't know, dropping acid or something. And that's fabulous. Got that rounded, nutty almond element. Very, very well rounded and very nice. And I really, really enjoy that. And it was a pleasant surprise. I've been wearing it in this perfect weather for it, actually. It's serendipity in a way that the weather has completely matched. I don't think that this would do too well in the cold. I don't think that that would suit it. I don't think that this would suit very well in the high heat of the summer. But this seems to do very well I think it's going to do very well also in the cooler days of autumn. Autumn is going to be the perfect time to wear this. Maybe spring as well, but I haven't had it that long, and so I'd have to test it. But I have decent hopes for spring. But for right now, as of right now, this is absolutely fantabulous weather and makes it shine and makes it fantastic. Now, I've tried to not give this the obligatory 5 out of 5 that I felt I almost was going to give it because it's a Slumberhouse and I'm a huge Slumberhouse fanboy. But there are some problems. There is the issue that it is a little bit like Mitza, which is sort of surprising. But overall, it's fantastic, it's wonderful, and it is just a solid niche release. Josh Lobb really does know what he's doing. He's absolutely fantastic at creating niche fragrances that are going to grab you, and also fragrances that smell as though they're worth the money. So I'm going to do a compromise. I'm going to give it a solid 4.5 out of 5. But I think it's wonderful. I think it's brilliant. I think I've just been rocking it in this weather. This has been just the perfect weather for this fragrance. I couldn't believe it. There's nothing else that I'm wearing at the moment because it just works. It's just wonderful. It might be a bit feminine for some people, but overall, just bloody brilliant. Oh, come on, Josh Lobb, you've done it again. All right, I'm not going to give you a freaking negative review. Stop it. Stop being so cynical about your own bloody work, young man. Right, so there we go. Scent on the whole. There you go. Performance is interesting, just genuinely quite interesting actually. It's odd. I think that it's not going to last as long as it does, which inevitably it then does. Projection is like a 3 out of 5. People can definitely smell it on you, and it's fine, but it's not overbearing whatsoever. It's not that type of fragrance at all. It's definitely not got a huge scent cloud, and it won't push out. It's nice. It's pleasant. People come into your space, you can smell it. That kind of a gig, right? 3 out of 5, unusual. And when you smell it on you, you're like, yeah, this is definitely a 3 out of 5. This isn't going anywhere outside of my own space. But then the longevity kicks in, and that's like a 5 out of 5. This can last on me for up to 2 days if I haven't showered, but I do shower. Don't worry. And but yeah, like for 2 days straight, this can still be at that consistent 3 out of 5, and that's the thing with the projection. It is a 3 out of 5, but it's consistently 3 out of 5 throughout the whole time, throughout the whole period, which is interesting. But the longevity, 5 out of 5, and that is definitely worth your money. So a mixed bag with projection, but definitely a solid scent. This is a return of a wonderful, underappreciated niche house that more people need to talk about. And I don't know, because Josh Lobb, the reason why Slumberhouse doesn't do well is because Josh Lobb does not care, right? He doesn't care. He's not really interested in advertising and things like that. And he's told me, oh yeah, like if I really wanted to, I could, do all of the, mainstream stuff and I could sell well. But he's not interested in that. He's interested in creating art. He's interested in making fragrances that stand out and that are a solid punk alternative to the mainstream, and that's great, and that's fantastic. If you haven't checked out Slumberhouse and you really, really want to dive deeper into this canon of fragrance, into this mad world of fragrance that sucked me up and I can't get out, then Slumberhouse has got to be probably your first port of call. Anyway, thank you, Josh Lobb, and for the rest of you, wow, Fern, beautiful, wow, absolutely stunning, done it again, brilliant. Right, I might go for a swim. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh God, I haven't given you the final rating. Hang on, wait, don't go. Final rating. Oh, it's a 5 out of 5. It's fantastic. I love it. I mean, come on, it's brilliant. Right, okay, going now. Bye. Subscribe.